Hi, my name is Gerhard Schwantner and welcome to SellingPass Daily Report. Today we continue our conversation with Brian Dietmeier, is the founder and CEO of Think Inc. Welcome, Brian.
Thank you, Gerhard.
Can we talk about how to prepare, present, and negotiate offers so to make that sale bulletproof?
Absolutely. Again, the key, I've mentioned several times, is beginning this early on in the sales process. Thinking about the that's being negotiated, getting clarity on that before your customers or competitors are thinking about it, and then broadening what I'll pay for it beyond price to, at the very least, all the products and services, all the terms and conditions, and then adding in some creative trades. And the key now is how do you package this to present it to the customer. And this is what I suppose most people would think about as the negotiation, where you may be 6 months ahead of this already if you're doing what we prescribe. But so in order to do so, it's probably best for me maybe to tell you a personal story. When we first started Think, I founded the company with Max Bazerman, who's a professor at the Harvard Business School, and arguably one of the gurus on this subject of negotiation. And we were putting together our deal, and I looked at it and I wasn't quite happy with it. And I went and I had lunch with him and said, Max, I don't think I'm making enough money in this agreement. And he looked at me very calmly and he said, so you want some of mine? And it's interesting because I broke one of the early rules of negotiating multiple things versus just one thing and broadening it. And he said, look, how about we do this? He said, how about you trade me some of your equity and I'll trade you back some cash flow, or we do it the other way around. He gave me 3 choices with multiple options in each choice. And I stopped at that moment and said, forget about our deal. What did you just do? And he said, well, I gave you multiple equal offers. And we, of course, this is one of the most powerful tools that we use ourselves and also prescribe to our clients, is the notion of, even in a tough RFP process, never coming back with just one offer, to have 3 different business relationships to offer your clients. And you know, I want to make the tie back to this consequence of no agreement and trading work that we talked about earlier. You clarify what the it is that's being proposed,
negotiated,
right? And you have that thing, you better be able to identify that thing that we call the gap that's better in your it than your competitors. That's what you use to title the offers. You don't title it in terms of your products or services, you title it in terms of what customer problems you're solving. So 3 different business relationships, 3 different levels of customer problem solving, and then you populate those multiple equal offers with the trades that we talked about earlier.
So you prepare those 3 offers in advance and you ask the customer, do you want what's behind door number 1, number 2, and number 3?
Absolutely. And very rarely does a customer take these on their first time out, but what you find is that this is a radical shift in the dialogue that you're used to having in a negotiation, because you now have multiple things on the table to move around and trade. And you know, what most often happens is, like I did with Max, I couldn't decide on any one of the 3, and he said to me, and I quote, which of the 3 offends you least? And I said, believe it or not, the one where I give you some cash flow and take some more equity. And he said, so you value long-term equity more than short-term cash flow? I said, I did, and I had no idea until you just played this game with me that I did. And that's what happens with customers. You're putting offers on the table, having them rank those offers, and you know, most often, of course, what they're going to say is, give me the cheapest one, but with the biggest solution you offered up top. And the thing that changes in this moment is you now have all these variables on the table to say, sure, if you want to drive the price down, let me begin moving variables in and out of deals. It's fundamentally different, much more interactive, and much more sort of consultative dialogue you're having with the client.
So you're really inviting the customer to co-create the solution that leads them to a win-win.
Yeah, and what we hear very often is that, you know, I've been dealing with the business people. I've been selling, just like my sales process tells me to. I've been selling at multiple levels in the business, and now I've been turned over to procurement. This is very helpful when you get turned over to procurement, because embedded in your offer is different business solutions that have different varying values to the different buying influences you've been selling to. And we've been in situations where we've presented these, and a procurement person jumps down to the bottom line offer, and the business owners say, that won't get it for us. We need to move up here, or at least in the middle, because that does a better job of solving business problems. It's one of the most difficult problems we all face in selling, and this tool, while simple, completely changes that and whole environment.
I want to thank you, Brian. It was very enlightening for me, because my takeaway is, from now on, I will never present just one solution, but 3 different ones, and then collaborate with the buyer to develop the best deal.
Agreed.
Check out Brian's website, thinkinc.com. It's a terrific resource for improving your negotiation skills and strategies.